Today I want to share with you top 10 challenges I had with in-house developers and subcontractors on staff augmentation projects. I had a new customer who required React developer for gambling project. We had 4 React developers in-house and they refused to work in gambling. Luckily, I've just met at that time a new partner from Ukraine. They had React developer on board that had worked in gambling before, and he passed interview. He totally matched the project. Customer was happy, and we didn't lose the deal. I sold developer to a prospect, gave good feedback about him, about his soft skills, hard skills, etc. But it turned out that he had some concerns before the call. He thought that he will be overloaded on 2 projects. So he performed bad on an interview. He was riding a bike, and during the conversation he didn't show any motivation and interest in the project. And in the middle of the interview it started raining. He was outside on a bike, so he didn't finish the interview. It wasn't possible from his side, and the customer were disappointed. He told us that it looked like that developer's intentions weren't serious, and he didn't look motivated. So they stopped talking to us, and we had a successful experience with the developer I've mentioned before. We didn't hire him at that time. We had a customer fintech startup that needed senior React developer, so this guy passed an interview, tech interview, English check, and customer was ready to start with him. So we hired this guy, and he started working from the first day on a project. That's a perfect scenario. I had a request from a new prospect for a WordPress developer. We didn't have WordPress developers with strong English at that time in-house, so I asked subcontractors to give some CVs, and luckily one developer had strong soft skills and hard skills, perfectly matched the project. This customer asked us for a Drupal developer. And with Drupal Developer, it didn't go smoothly. So we found 4 developers that matched the requirements of the customer. They were PHP developers who were willing to work with Drupal. Customer understood that it would be hard to find Drupal developer, and PHP developers who are willing to work with Drupal were fine to him. So customer picked the strongest one. This guy started working, everything looked okay, but in one month he suddenly decided to quit the project. When I dug deeper and asked him why he made this choice, he told me that he didn't want to work with Drupal, and his manager just pushed him and forced to do it. So it's very important to keep in touch with the developer to avoid such situations. But luckily, we found a Drupal developer by ourselves, and he replaced this guy on the project and became performing even better because he was a Drupal developer. He didn't need much time for adaptation. Next small project was related to Python. I found one prospect that needed a developer for 1-2 days per week. Unfortunately, developers started tracking days and hours like it was a full-time, and customer refused to pay for it. I told him that developer needed to dig deeper into a project, and the customer told that he pays for the result, not developers' investigations. So he refused to work with us in a few weeks, and of course he refused to consider any replacements. And I had one more React project. I was choosing between in-house developers and subcontractors. Of course, I preferred in-house developer and pushed him, but it was a bad choice because he told the customer that he wouldn't work with his code and his infrastructure is poor. And the customer was disappointed. He stopped any conversations with us. I also had one Vue.js project. We found a good developer with strong soft skills and hard skills, and the customer was totally satisfied working with him. But subcontractor decided to move him on other project. as you probably can understand that customers don't like replacements because they already invested time, money, efforts in this developer. So customer refused to talk with us anymore, considering any replacements, apologies. It wasn't, or it didn't matter at all. And unfortunately, subcontractor didn't care. One more Node.js project I had. Everything was good with the developer. He was very responsible, strong hard skills, soft skills. But customer was constantly not satisfied with the performance of the developer and whole team, pushed them to overtime. Of course, he didn't pay for this overtime, and still he finished the project much earlier than we agreed before. Also, we had one iOS project that didn't go well, and the main reason that too many participants were involved. So it was a subcontractors, our company, middle company, and the last customer that requires the service. So it was a huge problem with the communication. Developer was burning out, customer didn't get the service he needed, and it didn't work well, and finish the project very quickly. So when there are too many participants in a project, maybe it shouldn't been started, or possible communications issues should be discussed before to make it more smooth in process. So as you can see, if you work with in-house developer, if you work with subcontractors, there is a lot of uncertainty and unpredictable things could happen, and you should be ready for it. If you will need full stack, backend, front-end developers, UI UX designers, product owners, or DevOps engineers, I have available resources for staff augmentation. I will share my contacts in the description and in the first comment to this video.